I wrote a little something. Maybe you can relate. Maybe this is you. How every moment in our lives serve and matter and count and add to the more. How no day is ever wasted or in vain. The peaceful and calm days with a cup of tea. The high-paced, busy, yet grounded and balanced days. Or opposite, how we put pressure on ourselves and beat ourselves up for not doing enough on the simple days. Or how we're stressed out and all over the place on the busy days. Or all the days, really. All the days. Even the trying ones, where you just want to cry and die inside, as you experience every emotion under the sun, as they haunt your soul, your very being, and they just don't leave you alone. So much so that even on some days, you can't find the will to get out of bed. And you don't. And you just don't. And you don't even leave the bedroom for 7 days or more. Maybe even these days count too, to assist in some way in the journey of our being. And as you see the program on TV of a cancer survivor sharing her story as a feel-good story of the day, and granted, that is intense, as she tells everyone that she found happiness and peace, and grateful to be who she is and where she is now, and that couldn't have happened without this, that she loves who she is now. That perhaps facing our worst demons, facing ourselves and what we fear about ourselves the most, like maybe we're unlovable. That's a big one. It actually might be universal. And releasing all these unconscious behaviors, limiting beliefs, and all the bottled fear is also the same as what this woman did. That perhaps she knows the secret nobody knows. Perhaps she has learned the meaning of gratitude, true and true. True, humbling gratitude, where you just thank God. Thank God. Thank God you survived. I feel like she might have done a lot of serious crying. And she must, because it's a release of the soul. And this is a lot to process. And now, life will never be the same, and every day is filled with grace as she learns and relearns. I don't know. And unlearns every word she ever knew, because it is all different now, for life takes on a whole new hue, and through her trial and tribulation, to face this, because it was a health challenge, and hence mental, emotional, spiritual challenge as well, all at once. She had to face it. She couldn't ignore it like most people do, when not faced at the brink of a cliff. And even then. Now, gratitude is not just a word or a mental construct in her mind, like, oh, it means to appreciate. No. Now, it is a pure, visceral, emotional experience that moves her whole body, mind, and soul, a vibration that is integrated into her way of being, that she has mastered. And it is her. It's not even gratitude 2.0. It's like gratitude max. As even that breaks open and goes even higher as time passes and progresses. And this will be her guiding light, as more grace comes into her life through this experience, because her soul has been opened, if not awakened, or both. Now, everyone she touches and everyone she meets is blessed, even in silence, as she meets herself, her fully integrated self, and meets her God as that person. As she meets her ancestors, her family line, her teachers and her spirit guides, in this life and all lives past, perhaps, and many others as she simply doesn't know about. As she feels their warm embrace, their presence, and their love, she is so filled and so moved and so touched. Gratitude. The true meaning of grateful will never leave her soul. Wow. And perhaps now, she knows a secret nobody knows. Pure gratitude, which then vibrates higher into deep appreciation and love. Ultimately love, and then unconditional love. It is always the next step, the natural progression of the soul to go higher and refine. And then, to be so humbled, genuine compassion and self-compassion, to learn to love and love herself. And then, and only then, love everyone else. All life itself. That is profound. A life forever changed. And so, she said on TV that it might have been the best thing that happened to her. And granted, with an extremely heightened view now, that it perhaps took this event in her life to release her from all her fears, as she faced it all head on, one by one, as she thought she simply no longer had the time. Time for much. Time for much of anything at all anymore. And what has it all been for anyway? As so many thoughts and feelings rush into her soul, to meet her and to greet her one by one. Is this the end? Or is this the beginning? As she sat with them all. It is true. It is really true. She found it all. She chose herself. She chose life. She chose to live and learn what it means to be alive. For however long she has to be alive. For however long she had. For however long she was to be given. And now, it heals her soul even more, for she has already done her own healing work, and the divine will agree, and she is free. But now, it fills and fulfills her soul to go to cancer survivor groups and discuss this. People of all ages, younger, older, afflicted with cancer, at all stages, beginning to end, let alone people she can relate to, simply relate to as a human being, and share. Because no one will understand her except those going through the same thing. Not to the same depth anyway, or maybe even at all. Because who on earth actually confronts their fears, their deepest fears, the kind of fears you tuck away so deep no one knows, not even you, that our mind is so strong that we can willingly look away when we simply do not want to know, when we simply do not want to face ourselves, face our greatest fear, and ultimately face our deepest love. Anyway, no, not that many, I'm afraid. For only the truly brave, the truly strong, the truly humble do that. Those of true heart and soul. And she shares the pain, the challenges, the blessing of just a not bad day. When things are so bad for so long that you don't even know anymore, and there is no hope in sight. And finally, to have one okay day. It might not be great, but God, does it feel good just to find relief. The victory in small joys, the love, the learning, all of it. Because she knows it in her DNA. She knows many things she doesn't even know yet because it's in her blood. She can't even make any of it up. It was born within, struggled within, and ultimately released within. How her greatest teaching, her greatest light, the biggest thing she has to offer, surrender, give, is perhaps her greatest learning. The thing she struggled with the most, the very thing that held her down to the brink of death in every way, and had her for some time, and back again to wholeness, the wholeness she always had, but simply didn't know until now. She understands the higher lesson and the higher meaning right from where she is, at her new vantage point with self, a person filled with love, a person that is perfect for her and who she is, nothing more and nothing less, as this too shall grow and evolve with the passing of good time. Her understanding of love itself, hence her understanding of many things. For perhaps it is the only thing that matters, the only thing that is real. Perhaps we all have that power and the strength, the heart, to face ourselves as well, little by little, inch by inch, to find ourselves anew like this woman, who is so happy. I don't know. Don't you want to be happy? If I saw that, and saw the love shining in her eyes, if I didn't understand, I would think, God, that's horrible what she went through, but I want to know what the feeling feels like, the feeling of complete and total surrender and love and peace, as it just oozes from her eyes now, literally oozing. And well, after witnessing this, it's in your soul now, so you just can't forget it, because it is so rare, and simply becomes a memory in the recesses of your mind until it is time. And then, if I did understand, I would think, God, that's horrible what she went through, but how brave, amazing, and strong she is. God bless this woman, as she inspires and heightens and adds to your own understanding of the meaning of gratitude, of humility, of grace, of love and self-love, of peace, as you too remember your own aliveness through her, to remember who you are. And then God bless this woman again. What a beautiful soul to grace this world. How we really are all connected. Just like how all the medical professionals during COVID was not just a job during this time, but a service for humanity, as thousands of people were dying every day. Even them. How the firefighters gave their lives in 9/11. For people they will never know, for simply to save a life. For the sake of the value of a life, the value of a precious soul. How noble humanity, how noble humanity truly can be and is. If we simply remember who we are, who we truly are. Perhaps in our own way, as we face ourselves and do our own inner work, healing work, which is really the bravest thing anyone can ever do in life, to sit in the silence of what is, facing all that may arise, facing the inner demons that are in the far reaches of our mind, and eventually facing the love that resides and presides over all things. We too do a service, not only for ourselves, but all as well, as we become better people inside by dissolving our own fears and lightening the areas that desire to be soothed. And hence, as happy and free as this cancer survivor woman, with an illumination of the soul that all will remember who cross her path in such a way that it remains and it stays. It stays with them long after she is gone, until one day they too finally begin to understand what she was speaking to all those many years ago, that this too, the act of freeing the soul, is a service for humanity. Because it's not just about surviving, it's about living and really being alive and simply being, true being, and in being, the connection to all life, as now we can truly begin to contribute what actually matters. Perhaps, at all, the only thing that does matter. Not small talk, as most seem to indulge in, but meaningful talk, that only those of heart can do. Kindness, joy, peace, love, hope. Now, not from our mind, but our heart and soul. From love. And that is how we leave our mark, perhaps within ourselves. With God, and hence the world, this world and the next, and beyond. Our love that travels the air and makes our hearts so full and so sweet. The scent that roams the lands and brings nourishment to the grander scheme of things. Then, is anything that bad? Is anything really that horrible? With good time, with divine time, with the soul's capacity to heal all things big and small, the answer is no. All is well. All is simply as it should, how there is grace in all things. Because in this life, the one life we were all given to live, you were finally you. You were finally free. You freed yourself of yourself to simply be yourself true. If that is not the most beautifully freeing and humbling experience, I don't know what is. Just to be happy, like a little girl, a little boy, a little munchkin. Perhaps that is what life is about, and our journey towards this truth, the truth of love. Jane.